Good evening. Good evening and welcome to Real Talk. Thank you for joining us. Please, as you're coming on, please share with someone and let them know that we are here and my guests are here. Can't wait to share with you. Blessings to everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful day because this is the day that the Lord has made. Come on in as you're coming on. And as you're coming on, please let us know what state and city that you're from. Hi, Auntie Sue, all the way from Greenville, South Carolina. Glad to have you on tonight, as always. Please let us know where you're from. Come on in. All of you that are coming on, please let us know where you're from, your city and your state, where you're from. Come on in. Good evening from Windsor, Connecticut. Bless you, Sister Yvette. Nice to have you. My friend David Winslow, God bless you, from Philadelphia. Glad to have you on tonight. As always. Please come on in. Please come on. I'm going to get my guest on in a few moments. As you're coming in, please share with everyone. And I want to also thank those that have been a blessing to me financially for this program for Real Talk with Cindy. I thank you so much and continue to give as God has blessed you. But I thank you for those that have been giving to me. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to bring on my first guest, and this is Brother Justin Haynes. How are you, Justin?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So glad to have you on tonight, and I'm so excited as to what God is going to do and what you're going to share with us on tonight. I want you to begin to share about how you got started. I know you do, you work in the church a lot. You are a choir director. So let's start there, and then let's move on to the other part.
Okay. Well, I started singing and doing a whole lot of that when I was young. My mom was choir director in the church, so she was a choir director. So she gave me my first song. I think I had to be about maybe 6 or 7. I directed my first song with the children's choir. That was my first time directing the choir, and then from there it kind of just went on. She would put me and my brother up sometimes to direct the adults. So that's where a lot of our musical ability came from. It came from my mom. So I started there. That's where the start started between her and David Marshall Jackson. He was another musician in the area that actually gave me an opportunity outside of my church to direct his community choir. So from there we were directing. I was still young, so I had to be maybe like, at that age I was about 12 to 13.
Wow.
So from there, things just started going. My love for music kind of grew a little bit. I started watching certain directresses. One who really kind of mentored me a lot was Adrienne Judkins. She's in Springfield, Massachusetts. So from there, a lot of her techniques and a lot of her ways I took, along with what some of my mom would do. And then from there, it just kind of grew. My mom and the minister of music at the church put me over the youth choir at the age of 13.
Wow.
So I had the youth choir. So I was the choir director for the youth choir. Then they made me the choir president, and then I started teaching parts. I had to, the choir became in my hands.
Yes.
So I did that for about maybe the duration of my time at Third Baptist Church. And then from there, it kind of just grew as I went to different churches, directing, which is a part of my life. As much as I try to get away from it, it was always still there. And even in this age now, I still try to get away from it, but I can't. I do know that that's where a lot of my blessings come from. So currently now I am, before here, I was the minister of music at Charlotte Baptist Church in Hartford, Connecticut. And then now I am now the worship and arts director of the Impact Society at Impact Church, where overseer Maurice Porter is the pastor. So that's where I'm currently working in service.
Wow. Now at 13, what was that like? Because I know you had other peers your age, and if you had to be over them, and then you had adults, what was that like?
It was an experience. Let me just tell you, it was an experience. That was the first time I have to say that I was able to actually see adults for who they were. You know, a lot of times as a child, you know, you just say, hi, Miss So-and-so, hi, Mr. So-and-so. But at that particular time, when you get involved at such a young age as that, you get to see, you know, the ins and outs of a lot of adults. You know, so I have to say that was my biggest struggle, because, you know, a lot of them were like, who are you? Like, you're telling me what to do? You know, and then I have to say, dealing with my peers at that particular time at the age of 13, it was a struggle. Let me just tell you that, because, you know, I'm really heavy on organization skills and just making sure that things are in order. You know, a lot of sometimes if that's new to people my age and people your age, they tend to challenge you, and there's a lot of pushback. So it was a crazy time. I have to tell you that it was a crazy time, because there was a time where I didn't want to do anything. It had gotten so like, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't need to do this. I'm fine. I don't need to sing. I don't need to direct nothing. I'm straight. So I actually took a year off. Like, it was a point, like my mom just kind of like left me alone for about a good, you know, year, because I was just that, like, I didn't know where I wanted to do. I didn't know where I wanted to be, you know, but then after a year, she was like, you got to snap out of it. You got to do something, you know, you decide what it is you're going to do. If it's going to be an usher board, you're just going to sing in a choir, whatever it's going to be. So I kind of snapped back into it and realized, you know, like, this was a position and a job that I had to do regardless of who liked it, the age category. You know, I had to, you know, press through it. So it was a challenging time. So I know, it's a challenging time now for me in my adulthood. So just imagine, you know, being a teenager, with these adults. You know, so I'm like, whoa. So it was definitely a learning experience. But I have to say, it did help me, and it did grow me to where I am right now. So you know, all of it was necessary.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now let's start talking about the international designer. And your some of your outfits are in the back, as everyone can see. Start talking to us about that. How did that come about with you wanting to design your own clothes? And, you know, share with us about that.
It was a dream. I have to tell you, like, this was my dream.
Wow.
You know, a lot of people think, you know, they saw me, they see me in the pulpit, director of the choir, and, you know, leading praise and worship and all that, and they think that that's my heart. You know, it's something I love to do, but fashion has always been like my heart. That's where my passion is. So it's been a dream for as long as I can remember. So in middle school, I remember telling my mom and my dad, you know, because it was at that time, you know, to try to find jobs where you could or whatever. So I'll never forget, in high school, you know, when we really started to search for jobs and I had to start working, I told them, I was like, I don't want to go into any restaurant, any fast food. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Because a lot of my peers were like, oh, I got a job here. We're going to do donuts. I'm doing this. I was like, I can't do that. I want to be in a clothing store. So my mom was like, if you want to do it, you can do it. So there was a lady named Tracy Oakley. She gave me my first position at the Gap. So I started working at the Gap at the age 15. I wasn't supposed to work at age 15. I was supposed to work at 16, but it was like only a few months to my birthday. So they slipped me on and just kind of put me in. I was in that job 15, 16 years. I stayed there. But during that time at school, during my junior, my senior year, I knew that fashion was it. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do my own thing. So on my side, you know, junior prom, senior prom, I was dressing everybody, you know, taking them to the mall, taking them to the store, and I was putting their clothes together and all that stuff. They would call me and ask me. So that was just like a part of my starting. So being in retail, you know, that's where I got all my business aspect from. I kind of went up the ladder at Gap, you know, and my last position was, you know, a district visual merchandiser. So I was able to kind of travel, work with different store managers, you know, actually work in regional levels. So it was different for me to do. So, you know, after that, I went to luxury retail, which was another major part, which was very very, very interesting to me. But my time was up. I was at my 5-year span where, you know, my dad had gotten really sick at that particular time, and I knew that you know, I was a spoiled child, and I'm not even ashamed to admit that. I was a spoiled child. They gave me everything I wanted, you know, so I knew that that was a time, you know, it was either, you know, move to Chicago and take this huge salary with this position, or it was my time to actually step out, stay here, help my parents, and actually do what I needed to do. So I stepped out at, it was 2010. I stepped out and I started my brand. When I tell you that night of leaving and driving home was like the longest drive ever from work. I left out of work. I left them. I told them I was not coming back. And I just cried the whole way because I'm like, how am I going to do this? Mind you, I had, you know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a vacation time. I had my 401k and that was it. So I'm like, how do you start this big old company, this big brand that you want to start with $0? Like, how do you do it? You know, so a lot of that was going back and forth. So that's where the start came. Just, it's been a dream of mine, and it's just, I just dropped and started.
Wow. So now after that, and you got your passion, and you were taking some of them to the store for doing their proms and things like that, what happened that other people internationally saw your work? How did they begin to see your designs to want to, because I know you've been to New York, you've been to a lot of places. So what happened that triggered that, where they saw your designs, or how did they see them that they would get in touch with Justin?
Well, let me just tell you this, like, it actually was amazing how everything just kind of just blew off. And I have to say this. I started, had no customers. I'm just making clothes. My first show, I had it. My first show was actually in the middle of, I don't know if you remember that huge ice storm that we had in October. It was a huge storm. That was the day of my show. I had about maybe 30 or 40 people there, which I was supposed to have 100 people there. Nobody, I mean, so from there, I had 0 customers. I was so avant-garde and had so much in my head. Like, I was just doing everything with my clothing, everything. And I had 0 customers. Like, I had nobody for about a year. There was one lady named Minnie Hansen who just took the chance, and she was like, I want you to make me an outfit. So I said, sure, you know, no problem. And I was very excited. But I'm like, you know, I'm thinking in my head, she's going to wear it and nothing's going to happen. She wore the outfit. And then from that day, like, people just started trickling in. So, you know, business started to pick up a little bit, you know, it was picking up, and I could see in the future what I wanted to do. I wanted to be internationally at that time, but I was like, it's going to happen when I'm like 56 years old. It's not going to happen right now. I was in a service at your mom's church, believe it or not. I was in the service, and they were honoring me for, you know, being a choir director. Nothing on the fashion side. Wasn't even thinking about it. And I'm sitting there that whole night. Nobody even knew this. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm getting honored for something that I really don't want to do. You know, like I'm here. I'm getting honored, but I'm thankful. For, you know, this is, I want this in the other life. So it was her sister, Miss Stacy, just jumped up out of the blue, and she said, you know, him, and she pointed at me. And I remember Miss Robin, Miss Robin, she jumped up, she said, you want to speak to? So she made me stand up, and she kept saying, she said, I see a bunch of doors. I see doors opening. Doors are going to open. There's a spirit of excellence on you. There's just so much that's going to open. I need you to get ready now. There's just so much that's going to open up. You got to get ready now. I believed it because I saw it, but then I'm like, you know what? I don't really know if this, you know, but I see it, you know, but I said, you know, this is what I see. And immediately it had to be like, honestly, a year later, just things to start opening up. You know, Fashion Week came. Then this one was calling them. The executive directors for Fashion Week were calling me. I had fashion magazines calling me. It was just like everything just started opening up out of the blue. You know, so from New York, during my second time in New York, that's where the international platform came. One of the international foreigners, executives from the Fashion Week out in Milan and Paris was actually there. And then from there, they contacted me the next day after my show, and they were like, we got to get you to Paris. You got to come to Milan. You know, let's set you up now. And then, like, from there, I'll tell you, I can't even count how much is going on right now. It's just so much just keeps happening over and over again, and it's all internationally what I wanted. Like, I understand, you know, there's a start, and you know, you have to be places, but I wanted to be internationally. Like, this was my goal. Like, I wanted to be an international designer, but I didn't think it was coming till like I was old and, you know, Ralph Lauren age. But it's here, you know, and I'm so thankful to God because it's happened so quick, and things are still opening up. Like it's like
Yeah.
every time I think it's gonna like quiet down and things are gonna, start slowing down for me, and I see slow, and I'm like, well, this is my season to be slow. Something else the next day just pops right up. So
Right.
I can't even explain it. I really can't.
Wow. So now models, were you able to just find people in your area where you live to get models to model your outfits for
When
you,
I
or go to some of the places with you?
when I first started, I had a big casting call, and I was using people out in in my area. But and a lot of those models now that I started with back 10, 11 years ago are still with me. A lot of them I brought
Wow.
a lot of them I brought with me to Paris. So
Yeah.
any opportunities that I do have, I don't forget them. I bring them with me if I can. But a lot of
Yeah.
the platforms that I do have now, there are hired models that are hired for me to use. So I have to sometimes use them, which is okay. But whenever I have the opportunity, whether it's fashion magazines or editors call me, if I can use the people that were there when I started, I grab them.
Wow. And that's good, because a lot of times people forget as they, start going higher, people start calling them for larger platforms. People forget about the ones that started with them. So I thank God that you have it, and that's why God has blessed you to go where you're going. Someone is asking, where can we purchase your clothes? I need that watermelon shirt.
You can have it. Actually, I made 2 of them, so you're good. A lot of my clothes are I do custom pieces, so I only make 1 per customer, because I like to keep my customers really unique.
Wow. Yes. Uh-oh. Okay. Can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Okay, now I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, you send me a message, and we'll get going. I just need your size, your measurements, and that type of thing. I don't put a lot of things on my website because, again, I don't want to keep people in the same outfits and same looks and same patterns and that type of thing. So I try to give everybody their own one-of-a-kind piece.
And his information is right here on the screen. As you see, that's his email address. You can contact him there, or his inbox. And you see the outfits that are behind him. And those are nice too.
Yeah, these are actually my custom. This is my logo gear. So this is my logo sweatshirts. I just launched the short sleeve ones. We have long sleeve, we have short sleeve hoodies now. So everything's custom. I try to customize and make sure that everything is custom and is one of a kind. I make to you. I don't really follow pictures. That's not the gift that God gave me. He didn't give me the gift to follow a picture. And the lady that actually taught me, Miss Jessie Daniels, she set me down 6 months and kind of just showed me how to sew. And then from there, she said, it was 6 months. I literally learned what to do. And I didn't think I can do it. And she set me down at the machine, and she said, you do it. So then from there, she said, you have to be your own person. You can't do what I do. You can't do what the next person do. And I knew that was me. Like, I had to do what I see and what I felt for that particular customer. I can't do what some other designer or what some other company is doing. You see it on the website, you send it to me and say, that's not my vision, that's theirs. And I want them to keep their vision, and I keep mine. Right.
That's amazing. Because a lot of times, sometimes you see some person with the same outfit that someone else. But I also noticed that you also, I've seen some outfits that for pastors, for preachers, and they're very, very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. I just started doing a lot of. My mom was my only clergy I would do. I'm going to tell you that now. I was just scared to even do anybody's robe, garments, whatever. Because I'm like, this. I believe that's serious. That's a serious garment. And I think there's a certain way that it needs to be done. So my mom was like, you've got to start. And then a lot of bishops, overseers, they come to me now. So it's been a great ride. I have to say, God is doing great things. I mean, but he's definitely opened that territory, for me to be able to dress bishops and overseers and people across the world,
That's amazing. That is really amazing. And I'm not sure if anyone else has any more questions for Justin. The covering is in his newest collection.
Yeah, my coverings. Yeah. That was actually another thing Miss Stacy wanted me to do. And the Lord gave it to her, and that was another thing I was scared about. And as soon as I was able to release that collection, I mean, I can't stop. So I'm just thankful. God has a plan for all of us. We just gotta be willing to follow it.
Right. And you have to be humble too.
Yeah, I mean I think that's the only way that you can actually make it, by humbling yourself and just whatever it is. And like you said, one thing you cannot forget: who, the what, the who, and the where. Like I
Right.
know this city is where I started,
Yeah.
so I got to remember them when I make it big.
Right. Absolutely. Well, you're doing a phenomenal job, and
Thank
I
you so
just
much.
thank God for you. And we're going to talk to you a little bit later, but I just
Okay,
thank God for what God is doing in your life. And we're
thank you
going
for
to
having me.
later and with some closing remarks from Justin. God bless you.
Bless you.
Hi, God bless
Bless
you.
you. Got to take Justin's name out of here. So, how are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Great,
Very
great.
good.
Thank
It's
you.
so good to see you. I'm so excited to be able to share and to talk with you as well on tonight. And we thank God for you. And I was able to share with the Facebook as far as the trailer for the movie. So let's talk about, how did you guys get started? And I know you're in Arizona. How did you get started with making movies?
It started. It started with dreams that the Lord was giving me about the end times that we share with my wife, and of course we also do music, but at one point we were kind of like moving in that direction, and I think it was 2009 when the Lord just put in our heart to step out on faith and produce our first movie, and it started as a short film that from there turned into a full feature. So it's like one of the I'll let you share the rest of that part. He's better at the telling the whole story. I'm messing with you. Go ahead, shit. It was a short
But
film.
he's right, Cindy. He's right. It did start off with dreams. He started having dreams back in 2002 about the end time. So he's a preacher. So
yes, absolutely.
He will come to Sunday morning services and tell everybody about this dream that God gave him, and the dreams were so vivid. It was like we could see what he was saying.
Wow.
And so it was like those dreams went on for about 2 years. 2 years, about 2 years. 2004, 2 years. And then the Lord moved us out to Arizona, and the dreams stopped. And then after a year or so, the dreams resumed again about the end times. And that was in 2007. They started back in 2008. And then by 2009 is when the Lord prompted us to start doing a movie. And our first one was like a short film. Right. As he said, when the Lord moved us to start doing the movie, it was like we already knew what to do, because he'd been having these dreams for so many years. Right. So we knew what movie to do. But when I first met him, he told me, this is what God has given me. This is what we're going to be doing, X, Y, and Z. That was in like 98. Wow. And I'm thinking like, well, that ain't going to happen. I'm thinking in my head like, well, like that ain't going to happen.
Right,
like,
movies.
You're talking about doing movies, have a movie company. You're talking about having a record label. You're going to do music, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm so young, like in my mind. I'm so young, a new baby in Christ on top of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking like, well, that ain't happening.
Right. So now after the dreams came, and where did it lead you from there, as far as you had to write a script, and so how did that begin? How did that start?
So just researched, pulling from something I know that the writing talent that I know was with me from something I know God had put in my heart. But just went online and started learning how to research how to properly format a script, because screenwriting is visual. Yeah. So it's not like writing a book or prose writing. Everything has to be in real time, and as like you see the movie happening. So some research on that and how to do it succinctly and yet powerfully, in a way you can convey your vision in very short sentences. Pretty much researched that and just started doing it.
Yeah. So we're self-taught in all of this. Yeah.
Wow. So now your first movie, was it shown in the theaters? Your very first movie? What's the name of it?
It was amazing how that happened with our first movie. When we first started, we decided to do the storyboards for our first short film.
Okay.
Just so we don't miss anything, because we new to it. So we wanted to storyboard it out. And when we met this young man we reached out to out here in Arizona, what's his name? I forget the young man's name. But anyway, he counseled us. He said, do not jump into a full feature film to be your first thing that you do, because it's so much you need to learn. He said you should start off with a short film. And Brandon is his name. Brandon Ray. Yes, Brandon Ray. And he counseled us to start off with a short film. And we did. We took his wise counsel. And we did a short film. Well, that short film wound up on the desk of a gentleman by the name of Isaac Hernandez. And he is the VP of acquisition for Parable TV, which is a network. Parable TV. Right. So he thought that film was so awesome that he tracked us down and called us and wanted to license our movie for his network for 2 years. Wow. And then he went on to say, this was so good, I would like to see it in a feature. It left me wanting more. So, boy, I tell you, the Holy Ghost rose up in me. I didn't know what I was saying at the time, but the Holy Ghost was like, I get you a feature. We can do a feature for you and have it by December. Now, mind you, he called us in July.
Wow.
He called us in July. And we told him, we can have a feature for you by December. And it was just amazing how the crew came back on board. Everybody came on board. And we literally had a feature film ready. And he came to the premiere that was at AMC Theater out here in Arizona. He came from LA to be a part of the premiere and to see the movie for the first time. And it just went from there.
To a sold out crowd.
To a sold out theater.
With police directing traffic.
Cindy, this thing was so big, Cindy. It was so crazy too, because it was when the Batman movie was out.
Yeah.
And do you remember? It's so sad though, but do you remember that shooting that took place in the movie theaters?
Yes.
Back then.
Yeah.
Well, we had a threat like that on our movie.
Really?
Because the AMC Theater had put our poster up in a cabinet with all the other big movies. Our movie was next to Monster Inc.
Skyfall.
Squad. What was that big movie? Squad something. But it was in a cabinet with all the other movie theater, all the other big movies. And so the theater kept getting all these calls. What is this New World Order? What is this? And it was so much that they started calling me to let me know all these people want to see your movie. So it wound up we had the whole theater. It was over 275 people came out to see this movie. And it was just amazing that people was coming and they was telling little fibs. They were saying they bought tickets and they really didn't. Trying to get into the movie.
Yes, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was like a Hollywood movie was taking place, a premiere of a Hollywood movie in this AMC Theater. It was locked down.
Yeah.
They even called for an encore. And then it also had a premiere in Atlanta, Georgia, over there in Atlanta. And then they called for an encore back at AMC Theater. So we wound up going back in February for another screening.
Really?
Yep.
Now, now, when it was time to get the actors, to try to find the right actors, for your movies, how did you go about doing that?
What we did was that we put out a casting call. It was the agency that's local agency here called Danny's Agency. And so we put out there, we're looking for actors. This is what the movie's about, a little synopsis. And then people submit and say, I'm interested. And then we set up a casting call at a hotel around the corner from where we were living at the time. And we just, interviewed the people from there. And they came in, said, I'm casting for or auditioning for whatever role it was. And we said, just watch them. They take a few lines and they say the lines, and we just judge them to see, how we feel about them.
Right.
And then you just go from there. And then you call them up and say, hey, You know, we like you to come back, or you know, like to bring you in for more another interview and stuff like that. We just go through a little process.
I mean, if people was traveling, Cindy, for like 2 hours away, they was coming from like Tucson, and Tucson from where we are is like 2 hours away. They were traveling to come and be a part of this movie, and it wasn't until we started doing this current movie, New World Order, the second one, and we was doing casting for it. And it wasn't until like we started bringing people in that we really realized the impact that New World Order really had on Arizona years ago. We didn't even really know how big it was to the filming community.
Really?
Yeah, until we met with some of the actors that was like, oh man, I remember this movie when y'all first did it, and I wanted to be a part of it. It was just so big, and like we literally had no idea how this movie really was just so big. You know?
Yeah, the Lord blessed it because it picked up distribution with the third largest Christian distribution called BMG, and it's still with them today. Just this year, at the turn of this year, we signed again. They wanted to keep our product because you know it's so good. I mean, it's international on top of that.
Yes, our movie is international, is worldwide.
I mean, you can find it on Hulu. I'm sorry, man. It's on Amazon today. It's on a lot of places.
It was released in 2013. And how about this, Cindy? When we did the premiere, and we was speaking to all by faith to all the actors, and they wasn't saved people.
Right.
But I mean, people got converted from the premiere.
Wow.
People got converted being on the set while we was filming. People was getting converted while we was doing this movie. But we kept confessing that this movie is going to get distributed, you know, and that we believe God is going to get picked up, and you know, and we just kept speaking it and speaking it. And the next morning when we woke up from that screening, I pulled my laptop, of course, because I always keep it with me. Yeah. So I pulled my laptop off the side of my bed, and I go check my emails, and there was a distribution deal in for a worldwide, international, all territories, all languages, distribution deal from BMG, Bristol Multimedia Group, in our email that next morning. I mean, we screamed, we cried, I cried.
I know.
But I cried.
I guess so.
It was, we couldn't believe it. And they truly are Christians. We have not had any problems with them concerning the movie, concerning doing right with royalties, concerning doing right about anything. I mean, God really is just used this movie just to be such a witness to the world. And we got so many testimonies how people, ministers and churches showing the movie, and people just giving their lives, recommitting their lives back to the Lord just from watching that movie. And we was learning.
And all of this started with a dream.
Yeah, with a dream.
Dreams.
With a dream.
As far as knowing to do the End Time movie first was because of dreams. Yeah. But I used to always daydream from back when I was in high school. That's when Miami Vice was hot and all that kind of stuff. And I never would have thought I would end up being a director, but I can remember how in school always daydreaming, fantasizing, cutting movies in my head, and I would never thought I would actually be a director. But the Lord reminded me of that. He put that in me because I was sitting there and just thinking about movies or TV shows, whatever stuff. And now here we are doing it.
Yeah.
And it's very important also because I know a lot of times we talk about the marketplace, but we don't hear a lot of things about the marketplace, for the Christians to be a part of. And how wonderful this is that we have two Christians here, and then Justin, as an international designer, and you're Christian, you love God, and you're living for Him, and how God is taking you all out to the marketplace, places that we sometimes may have dreamed of going, but have never really pursued it. How God has really taken what you've done as far as with movies. Now, which movie, you have a new movie coming out?
Yeah, we're currently shooting a new New World Order, which is a whole lot. I mean, it's a total.
Oh my
it's
God.
It's not even the next level. It's like a whole other thing. You know?
It's a million miles
Yeah.
beyond what we did. Yeah. Like we said, the first New World Order, we was learning while we was on
right,
set.
exactly. Yeah.
Like we was learning so much.
Right.
You know, and I really give props to actors and everybody who was so patient with us as we was learning on set, you know. But being self-taught is it's a lot of work. But
it is.
It's a lot of work. But the movie that we're filming now is like, it's straight Hollywood. Yeah. It's like we just got a call from an actor from Hollywood who I'm sure you'll see his face in a lot of stuff. And he called us up when we offered him a role in the movie. Now, these are SAG actors, but they are a part of a union called Phi Corps that allows them to do independent films. So that's what we are going for now. SAG actors that can do independent films. So they don't have to get approval from SAG and nobody will get in trouble.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, all of our actors are television actors.
All of them.
Or they've all done stuff with featured in big films such as Black Panther.
Yes.
You know, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
you
Black Panther, Lincoln.
All of them have very good credits.
Yes, all of them.
Working actors, and you see them a lot on TV, Lifetime. So that's the level the Lord has brought us to, whereas you know, which is a great thing.
Yeah, and so when he called and he was like, he was so excited. Antoinette, I mean, he was so excited because he read the script.
Yeah.
And he was just so on board. He said, I got to tell y'all, that trailer is phenomenal. He said, that trailer looked like it's a multi-million-dollar movie.
Wow.
I'm telling you, he said, I have seen many trailers and I've seen many independent filmmaker work.
Yes.
But what y'all have done there and the script y'all have wrote is phenomenal. I have never seen a faith-based movie that has so much action in it.
Really?
And he said, I just did, my last faith-based movie was with Pat Boone. I did Pat Boone faith-based movie. Really? And like this, but like, ain't got nothing on y'all movie. I'm sorry to say.
That's phenomenal.
I'm sorry to say.
This is so exciting. Now, as far as the finances, how have you been able to maintain as far as paying for the actors and also the production time and screen time? And, you know, how have you
good question. Well, we started filming this back in 2014?
2017.
I'm sorry, 2017. So what we're doing, I mean, of course we sought for help in finances, but that hasn't worked out for us. So we just kept, you know, going and decided that we'll do it with our own money. And so we started out filming in arrears. So we'll shoot maybe 2 days or 3 days.
Right.
And then we'll take 6 months off, pay off all the crew and everything.
Yeah.
And then shoot another 2 days, 3 days. And so we were doing that for a good while.
For 2 years.
For the last
we
2
did
years.
that for the last 2 years.
Which the Lord, you know, hoping that maybe the door will open financially, going all over the world, you know, sharing our vision with people to see if they would be interested in giving, which just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So, but what the Lord did instead is that He laid on our hearts to share with the to ask the crew to work out a plan with us where we can go in and film the whole movie, because our actors are getting older and things are starting to, you know, their lives, you know, things happen. Anything can happen. You can lose.
Right.
Somebody, one of our actors actually got hurt, and thank God he didn't die. I mean, he got broken up really bad. So we went to them, talked to them. The Lord touched their heart. They say, sure. So come this year, November all the way through December to Christmas, we're gonna be shooting 30 days straight.
Yeah,
the whole movie.
32 days straight. Yeah. And I gotta give God the glory, Cindy, because God gave us favor with where we live. Right. And you ask, like, how did we pay actors, and how do you stay up on your living? You know, how do you survive trying to do something like this? You know, on the level that we're doing. You know, and it's just God just give us great favor for where we are living. Just great favor. Great favor where people just give us extensions, like, okay, let's do it, and then you pay X, Y, and Z, and you pay it off in X amount of time, and when we said we're gonna pay it off, we pay it off. Like, nobody can say that we have not paid when we supposed to pay. Now, I've always tell them, you know, when we meet with folks and we just got to be straight up. It's like, look, you know, we will pay. The thing is, we just need a little extra time to pay because there's so many people that needs to be paid, you know? So we just be patient, give us the extra time, and you will be paid off. So everyone get paid off. I tell you, it's just to film one day, Cindy, run $15,000 easy.
Really?
I mean, we shot a
one day
just to do it. We did a CGI scene, which is going to be really, really nice scene. That cost us just the one CGI shot, $24,000.
It can cost $24,000 just for one shot.
You know, so it's like really high end. You know, we're using the same kind of equipment they use to shoot, you know, Marvel movies and things like that.
Yeah.
So and that's what's giving it that really nice look, you know. And then because the way that we our style of storytelling also,
which is,
more on the what you call it, the secular side.
Yeah,
you know, as far as like what you would see with, you know, Bad Boys or something like that, you know, because we understand, you know, how much word to give you at the same time to keep it exciting and entertaining. Yeah, and it's a good balance where you would be able to receive the movie, even though it's about the Lord and everything. You wouldn't feel like it's something that you can't receive, where it's the sinner and people who don't know God would look at it like Hunger Games or like Divergent, and yet still respect and receive the message behind it. Because it's so much action and very good storytelling. But also, you know, the word of God is the premise of what is going to happen, you know, in a very adventurous type of, you know, way of delivering the story, you know what I mean? Almost like a Star Wars type of thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Wow. That's amazing.
The you know what I mean?
It really is.
It's amazing.
After our meeting today, it's just crazy, you know, but man, I tell you, and my husband went back to work. He was a full-time minister, and he went back to work. He now drives a bus out here in Arizona to help bring money in to do this, you know. And we don't have a congregation of folks. Like, we don't have that. It's really just us, two other people, and our 4 kids. To God be the glory. Our 4 kids who are now adults, and God is tremendously. It's a family project. It's always been a family ministry, you know. We have 2 kids that's going to be directors. They screenplay writers now. 2 of our daughters, they have movies now that they are writing, and that we're going to film their movies as well, you know. So phenomenal. And one of our other daughters is a production. She have a desire to be a production designer. So she's now going to be helping design the set when we film come November. So all of our kids have aspirations to be in filmmaking.
It's family. So now during the pandemic, have you been able to do any work with the movie, or you have to kind of wait?
Well, we haven't shot anything since the pandemic started. But we tend to shoot in November. Now, of course, the pandemic is going on. And so what we're going to do is just, you know, of course, we're going to have masks and stuff like that, and take people's temperature and make sure it's safe, you know. And just do what we got to do. Unless something happens where the government say you can't do anything, you know.
Yeah, but our state is still open for work.
Yeah, and where we live, where we at in Arizona, we're not locked down. Like the East Coast. So we've been blessed in that it hasn't, you know, been locked down. Even though we have been like for the epicenter of this thing just last month. It was a big breakout, but it's starting to decline a little bit now. And so we just playing it by ear, hoping that you know, things will work out, and everybody's starting to, you know, get acclimated and used to coronavirus and living life is going on and adapting. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. You know, come when we film. You know,
everybody want to work. Everybody want to work. Everybody want to work.
I know.
Some actors, they coming from all over the country. They coming from all the way from Florida, East Coast, Atlanta, California, and we even have an actor. One of our star actors is coming from France and Sweden.
Really?
We have actors coming from Sweden and France to be a part of the film.
Wow.
Actually, the lead, he plays Aldo DeLuca. Aldo DeLuca is the Antichrist, you know, and he's of Parisian, native descent from Paris over there. And so so he's coming from over there. Wow,
it's
pretty awesome.
And
yes, God is really, really moving.
He is. One last question.
Yeah.
How, as far as the music, how do you hire somebody that would play the music and with the songs and the music?
Oh,
it's a good question. Actually, I'll be scoring the movie myself.
Yeah,
really?
we got a sample already online of some of the music. I videoed him one night while he was in the studio working, and I took a snippet of it and I posted it online. So it's on Legend Studio YouTube page.
Okay.
And if you go to the Legend Studio YouTube page, you'll be able to hear a snippet of what he's doing for the movie so far. It sounds like Hans Zimmerman. I'm telling you.
I evolved from being a drummer. You remember when I was a drummer?
I used to drum for you.
Play. You know. So I'm not a concert pianist, but I do play well enough to compose.
Yeah.
And, right. That's what I do. You know. So you know.
This is amazing. This is really amazing.
It really is.
So much for being a part of this, and hope and next year I want to bring you back to be able to share, you know,
that'd be great.
With the new movie that's going to be out and what you're doing, and you know, to keep bringing you back, so to keep it before the people, you know, so they're
absolutely.
Yes.
And Cindy, we don't mind. Also, if you want to do something with any of our main actors, we can definitely get them to be on with you.
Okay,
I love that.
I would love that too. That would be great. Now, I don't know if anyone else has any comments or questions they would like to ask. And Apostle and Antoinette, if you have some closing remarks that you would like to say.
Oh, well, you know, first of all, thank you for having us.
Yes.
And, you know, it's not really, you know, I've lost words. I just thank God, you know, God is good. I tell everybody, you know, even people that don't know the Lord, I always give God the glory for what he's doing and to make sure that, you know, because I know it's supernatural. How the Lord is bringing us through all this and what he's doing. So, you know, I just feel like that it's ever time to step out and do for the Lord, now's the time to do it, you know, and the believe God. And like you said something that I thought was interesting, and I wanted to comment on how that the Lord is a very fun person, you know, and a lot of people would think that God has fashion designers. Well, the Lord has fashion designers. He has movie, you know, filmmakers. He has, you know, all these things, you know, and I believe that the Lord is showing a side of him that a lot of people are not familiar with, and would never think, and he's using it. He's going to use it as a way to show the world, you know, a bigger spectrum of himself, which will result in more people wanting to connect and be with him, and see him in the way that he desires. So, you know, that's a great thing.
Absolutely. Exactly. He's more down to earth than what people think.
Definitely. But God has definitely blessed you, and you know, I continue to pray for you as your endeavor and what you're doing and bringing to the marketplace and to the kingdom with the movies. I mean, it's phenomenal that two ordinary people started with a dream, and look at what God has done and will continue to do.
You
know, I praise God. And Justin, do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to say to those maybe interested in being a designer, or you know, want to know how you get started in it? Do you have anything maybe you'd like to share and say?
All I want to say is, any dream is possible with God. So, I mean, you know, whatever your dream is, whatever you've been desiring to do, don't wait. Go ahead and start and step out, you know, and if you start and step out, be consistent in it. I believe consistency is the key. You can't sell pies one day and then sell sunglasses the next day. People want to see consistent people in the industry that you're working for, which will give them hope to keep going. So if you have a dream, start it and be consistent. And if you're consistent, you will have people that will follow and support you.
Yes,
that's true.
Amen.
That's true. The word say, "A diligent hand maketh rich."
Amen.
Yes,
gotta be diligent.
Don't be afraid to fail.
How about that?
Failure is actually is a blessing, you know. So a lot of times people are afraid to fail. I think that's why they don't want to do. You know.
Right, but everything is necessary. Remember that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It is necessary. And I thank God, because I mean, God has taken ordinary people with a dream and a passion, and passions come from God that he gave you, and to go on with your creativity and your ideas and your movies to even still reach people in the kingdom. And even what you're doing is something that a lot of people, like I said, would dream of doing and would love to do something like that, but never, they felt like, well, maybe that's not for me.
Yeah, you can't overthink it. You got to know that God is calling you to do that very thing, and you got to be like Mr. Magoo. Remember Mr. Magoo, Cindy? That cartoon, Mr. Magoo, he was blind and he was always walking. Yeah. He would walk off a ledge, but it would always be a branch there to catch him. Mr. Magoo.
And people
like to use that little scenario.
Right.
Like you just got to blindly follow God,
And one more thing real quick. To add on to, you got to know what you're called to do, and that's something that that's really important, because I don't believe that you could just tell God, okay, God, I want to do this, and God said, oh, okay, all right, it's something that he called everybody to do. When you find out what the Lord called you to do, it's your job to step out in faith and do it, because he's not going to do it for you.
Right.
Yes.
But you can guarantee success is guaranteed when you know that you're stepping out to do something that you're supposed to be doing, So it really comes down to seeking his face and really knowing, what you're supposed to do, which is behind the scene work that is really important to succeed, because I believe personally, you only bless what is his ordained purpose.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. He definitely make provision for his visions.
And if he made,
it's his vision.
And if he made provisions, you got to be confident in it. You got to be confident and know that he put you in whatever position and whatever dream that he allowed you to do. You have to be confident in it. People's opinions don't matter.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
You come against so many people in competition.
Oh my God.
It will just the devil will always try to, discourage you and make you second think yourself. So you definitely gotta, like what he said is true. That's so true.
Exactly.
We deal with that every day.
You gotta be a go-getter. You gotta be a go-getter.
You really do. Now, Justin, there's a young lady on here. She's 13. She's an artist that has traveled all over the world playing the piano. She was blind, literally blind, and now she sees, and she has a book out. But she says here, I want to design my clothes. What advice could you give her? Her name is Kalea. She's from Los Angeles, California. What would you say to her?
Hey, Kalea, all I have to say is just get started. You're at a prominent age to get started. Don't wait till you're 30 in your 30s like I am. Go ahead and do it now. So if you have a vision, go ahead and start it. If you want to design clothes, start designing. If you want to make them yourself, or if you want somebody else to make them, start setting your pattern up now. Start doing it now. You're at the age now that, once you start now, you can be further along once you get in your 30s and 40s and whatever. But I would say start now. If you have a vision, you see it, start creating it, and start now. Don't wait just because you're 13, whatever it is. Just go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and start making clothes. And, don't be afraid. And I have to say this to a lot of people. Don't be afraid. Your first start, you're not going to make a bunch of money. So don't be afraid to let people sample your garments, let them see it, have a couple people try it on, send them to a certain couple people just so they can wear it. It's trial and error. See how it works. See how people love it. And then keep going from there. So don't think that you're going to design an outfit, somebody's going to wear it, and then your customer is going to come. There's some things you're going to have to start now and just have some people wear it to get your name out there.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Great information. And she said, thank you for this information. And that's true, because you have to start somewhere. Right. You have to start. At least start it. If you're going to fail, or you just keep starting, keep doing it. Keep getting up. You're not down, keep getting up. If that's a passion that's in you, just keep doing it.
You got to keep going.
God will make a way. And that's why this platform, and I have also some millennial entrepreneurs that's going to be coming on this coming Thursday. And I wanted to start bringing on entrepreneurs, especially at this time that people are in. And, you can get ideas while you're home. While we're in this quarantine, and ask God to show you, a vision or something that you're passionate about, to show you what to do. And I wanted to start bringing on people that are that are in music, and some that are not, but have some ideas, and that are entrepreneurs, and they're actually doing what their passion, what they wanted to do. Right. And some people are doing things they didn't maybe really want to do. God directed them that way, but now it has blown up to something fantastic. Right. So on Thursday night, everyone, if you could come back on this coming Thursday, we have 5 entrepreneurs, and each one of them are special with what God has given them to do. And some of them have even found during this time that we're quarantined, to find their passion as to what they're doing. And then they're working it, they're building on it. But like you said, even if it happens, something happens that you fall down, get back up again and keep trying. Yeah. You have to get back up. You have to keep trying. Stacy says, I'm too young, I'm too old. No, just start. Those are the excuses that sometimes people have.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
With their age. So
one thing that I learned about this, when it comes to faith, faith don't make things easy. It just makes things possible. It's not supposed to be easy, but if you have faith, it does make it possible.
Yeah.
If you can weather the storm and just hold on long enough.
That's good.
It's a lot of perseverance. But I would say start. Yeah, like you said.
And let me just say this to her too. That's why he built creativity. Like, all of us are not supposed to be the same. So whatever your creative vision is, go with it.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Because it would be a shame if everybody did the exact same thing. What fun would that be?
Right.
Exactly.
Or just as we said about the designs, you don't make the same for everybody. Everybody is different. And that takes creativity to come up to think of things that would fit that person. Oh my gosh. Just the movie. That takes a special something to think of these movies and creative ideas and, starting with a dream and a passion. And now it's your full-fledged business and your family is in it.
Right.
That's creativity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It does. It does.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
That's right.
But again, just getting out and doing it. It'll happen. You just gotta go.
It'll happen. That's for sure.
And always keep God first in the midst of it too.
Yeah.
Keep him in the forefront, and that's the thing that I'm telling you. You see me on Facebook. I'm always giving God the glory for this film and what he's doing. Always, I never take any glory for what God is doing, and I believe because of that, God is just continually, supernaturally just moving because he's going to cause people to see him.
Absolutely. And that's what you want.
He's going to cause people to see him.
Right. And that's what you want. Someone says here, Yvette says, get everything in order so when opportunities come, you're ready to go.
Right.
And that's so true.
Amen.
Very true.
Amen. That's right. That's true. You got to be ready for the opportunity when it comes, because you can miss it. You can miss it.
You do. You really do. And it can happen. Sometimes it can happen overnight. Sometimes it may take a month, but at least reach towards that goal. At least go to that. Gravitate to it. Don't just have not. Gravitate.
That's true. Amen. And I'm thinking, you just said something that made me think that, it's like from our experience, the way it works, it's like, our experience with God is like, he'll prompt us to do something, and we might not see fully or understand completely what it is to do, but we have a good idea, and the Spirit is moving us to do something with little information, just enough to get us moving. And then, a lot of times we can think, oh, this is going to happen like this, and then it happens a different way. But at least we were obedient and taking action. And so I learned from experience that the way it works is that you take a step, then God shows you what you need to do as you take a step. If you stand still, then the Lord will stand still. So you always have to stay. God loves faith and always keeps us in the place of position of faith. No matter how successful you come, anything you do is going to require faith. And he'll never ever let it be where you can see the whole thing without having to have to trust you. It's like he designs it where you have to trust him and you have to go after him. And you have to rely on him. You know what I mean? No matter what. And if you do, then it comes to fruition as you go along.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you have to, and sometimes you have to walk alone too. Sometimes you have to walk alone because it's so many haters, so many people that just want to speak the negativity, and make you look in the natural instead of looking with spiritual eyes. They cause you to see the natural. How you going to do this financially? How you going to do that financially?
Right.
And we had that happen to us. We had that happen to us where it was actually a person that it was in the faith, and it was telling us, no, don't do that.
Told us to completely stop what we was doing.
Yeah, don't do that's not what God wants. We ignored that. Sorry, sir. No disrespect. But we got to do it as God leads.
Right, and it's always jealousy, and that's how you know you're on the right track too. That's how you know you're on the right track. But I want to thank everybody for joining us on tonight, and those that will watch the replay on Facebook, and also those that are on YouTube. I want to take the time to thank everyone for your input, and really thank my special guests, Apostle Duane and Antoinette McCoy, and Justin Haynes, the designer. And I want to thank everyone for being a part on tonight. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday night. And I want everyone to have a blessed night and a good night.